look, I mean, there's people making over $200,000 with this system. There's people making hundreds of thousands of dollars with this system. And yes, that's all great, but when you look at somebody outside looking in, they might look at that as, oh, that's unrealistic, or that's a lot of money, because it is a lot of money. But truth be told, there's a lot of people, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people, making an extra few $100s, making their car payment, their mortgage payment, just enough to change their life and move forward into something new in their life, and to have the confidence to do that. And to me, that just gives me the feeling of an accomplishment that you never expect you'd ever have in your life. Unless you're maybe a firefighter, or you're a policeman, or a nurse, or a doctor, you get that gratifying feeling. Well, the same in our industry is when you can help people get those small accomplishments, and they call you and they say to you on the phone. There's another gentleman that I met here, I won't mention his name, but he was actually living in his car, and he had to sell things just to even be here. And it was just an amazing story that he had enough money now through his business to be able to go to these events and to build his business and his new life. Still can't pay his bills, but he had enough to get here, and that's what mattered. And just to feel that drive in someone, again, it brings me back to when I had that same drive, and when I was down and out, and I had to spend every penny I had just to meet the people that I knew I wanted to be like. And so it just comes back to that, and just gives you that good feeling inside. Level. So to work with that kind of person that has that drive and that fire inside, I mean, it just makes you feel good as a leader, because, you know, speed of the leader, speed of the group. Well, you know what? I come from that type of industry. I was a professional fighter prior to this. I was a state swimmer as a kid, which these are all individual sports, and getting into athletics and getting into bodybuilding, everything I've noticed in my life has been very individual. It wasn't a team sport. So I've had to make some adjustments, because believe it or not, internet commerce and internet business, or business in general, is a team activity. You're only as good as the people around you. And so, you know, the people that attend these things, they need that structure, they need that support, that accountability, and we just provide that, because they more than likely, they don't have that at home, you know, so they look forward to these events and they do what they have to do. I mean, we had people that were selling stuff out of their car to be here, and efforts just to be around us, and so that speaks a lot for what we're trying to accomplish. But, you know, wonders come out of that, and that's kind of what we're all about. To be the shoulder for someone to lean on in a new business is one of the most gratifying experiences, because I know when I started online, I was very emotional, because I was down and out, I was rock bottom, I could not get anything to work. And I remember getting in front of the room for the first time, speaking about the little bit of success that I had, and it was just a few $100s, and I would start to tear up, because it made such a big impact in my life. So whenever I hear somebody's story about a sale that they made, or a breakthrough that they made, it kind of gets me teary-eyed, because of the fact that I know what that feeling is. You know, you always go back, if you've ever watched a touching movie or whatever it is, you remember the feeling you had in that movie. And sometimes in life, you kind of remind yourself of what that is. And I think doing these events, it's so gratifying, because it brings you back in time to where you were. Because I don't know a whole lot of people that have become extremely successful without having those hardships, you know. And that's the one thing. Yes, the internet's a cold environment. You work from home and you're on the computer doing your thing. But to be around people and see change, there's nothing like it, and you can't substitute that for any dollar amount. At the end of the day, we want to do good. We want to be on this earth to do something really good and impactful. Yeah, it can be about the money for a while, but if you've ever been successful, or if you've ever reached a point of success, the money stops mattering. It's more about what kind of impact do we leave. And, you know, I'm not saying we're going to save the planet or we're going to do massive things. It's about the small wins. And when you look at people, there's so many small wins that can be had before the big win comes. And a pat on the back, or a hey, good job, or, you know, congratulations for the new car that you just got, that you earned. Those are the things that we as leaders have to embrace, because oftentimes we just forget about that. We made all this money, or we became successful, but we forgot where we came from. You know, and through my career, I've noticed that oftentimes you get caught up in the busyness of this industry. Oh, I got to market, I got to do traffic, I got to do all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just getting on the phone with somebody, empowering someone, because they'll take that empowerment and turn it into success regardless of what they know and skill-wise. They'll just pull through it. This individual, I mean, gosh, $200,000, there's another person that made over $80,000 with a system like this and with our infrastructure. It's not because we have a magic pill. It's just we've simplified the business model for people to be able to plug in and do what they need to do. So, you know, when I started online, I mean, I remember 8.5 years ago, I bought the book Website for Dummies. And I didn't know how to build websites, I didn't know how to make money online. I read 3 chapters of it and I threw it in the trash. just because it was so far over my head, I couldn't figure it out. And I remember it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I saw somebody, it was a young person, making all this money on Google and spending all this money. And I was like, you know what, I can do what that guy does. And he had illustrated that through video on the internet. And I said, you know what, I can do what he does. And it was that same month I made $11,000 after borrowing money to even start a business. So I was empowered by myself saying, you know what, I can do what somebody else that I thought I could do better than. And it's funny, to this day, that person was my competitor for several years. And to this day, he's actually my partner now, going on almost 4 years. So I've always kept an open mind. I've always surrounded myself by great people and personalities. I always try to keep your ego out of it, because at the end of the day, you're not the smartest person in the room. It's just consistency throughout the years. And you know, now I've got a huge team around me. We've developed this massive business system. We're trying to franchise what we think internet business should be. Internet business should be simple. It should be step by step, and you know, that's what we're looking to accomplish with this. You know, it's amazing about it. And honestly, it comes down to the small wins. I firmly believe. I never used to believe this in the past. It's always been, I want the new car, the new house, the new lifestyle. But over the years, I've learned it's about the small wins for people. The $10, the $100, the $1,000. That one check or that amount of money can make a complete shift in somebody's confidence. You know, a lot of people go down this downward spiral, and I've seen this because it's failure after failure after failure, and there's never a small win to pick them up. And it's the edification of saying, you know what, you won this one. You're going to lose a few more, but you won this one, and it picks them back up again. And whether that's $100 that they made in their business, it doesn't matter if it pays for their business or their bills or not. It just gives them that small win, and that really accelerates how somebody can build a business. Because imagine now getting a bunch of small wins, and those bunch of small wins turn into big wins. And all of a sudden you have a leader who's confident, who's revived in their life, whose marriage is better, their health is better, their income has changed completely, they're paying cash for things, and so everything shifts, but it starts with those small wins. And so developing a business for someone, or a system or educational product for someone, whatever it is, it all starts with that. And once you start with that, you can end with the big lifestyle and the change of life and all of that. Already people are making hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars with iPass 1. Now we have iPass 2, which completely changes the game online. And if you hesitate, you're going to miss out on everything. So my suggestion to you is to put yourself in a position to succeed. You know, we've built this over the years and years of testing, and now you have all these people to align with to be able to become successful. So hesitation is going to be your biggest enemy. And honestly, if you look at the internet the way it is today, it's this huge opportunity. iPass is now coming in to carry you along the way and to give you the success that you need.